Okay, what's going on, everybody? My name is Mangg. Welcome back to Hanging with Mangg. um, yeah. So we're playing this game here called fuck. If I knew what it was called. It's got one of those titles. Hold on. All right, it's called Final Fantasy Brave Exvius War of the Visions. Or actually, no. I'm sorry. It's called War of the Visions Final Fantasy Brave Exvius. That's what it's called. It is a mobile game. It is for mobile devices. And I got a new phone this week. I got a Galaxy S20 FE or something like that. And whenever I get a new phone, I'm like, oh, they make games for phones, don't they? And then I go and I look and I see, what is gaming like nowadays on phones? And then like a week later, it's like, yep, they sure do make games for phones. And so I checked out like the new hotness, like Call of Duty Mobile. I gave that a shot. I don't know how the fuck people play a game like that, like a first-person shooter like that with your thumbs on a touch screen. I mean, that I feel like I'm too old. Like I cannot. I mean, maybe I could learn to do it, but like, why? Why would I ever? Why would that? No. But you can like connect a controller to it, like a PS4 over Bluetooth. And so I gave that a try, and that seemed all right. But I don't really go anywhere, so it's like I'll just play fucking Modern Warfare on my PC, you know. But that's not the game's fault. Then I was like, okay, well, what's Squaresoft up to, or Square Enix? I'm sorry. What are they up to nowadays on the mobile, in the mobile world? And they've got, a bunch of stuff. They have ports of all their big games and blah blah blah. But then I saw this, and people are like, if you like Final Fantasy Tactics, give War of the Visions Final Fantasy Brave Exvius a try. And I'm like, I do like Final Fantasy Tactics. Why don't I give it a try? It's cool in some ways, and then not cool in other ways. And as you might expect, all of the not cool things are because it's a mobile game. That's pretty much what the situation is. All the cool things are like things you'd want to see in a new Final Fantasy Tactics game. On like, PS5 or something like, oh yeah, this is cool shit. The amount of like depth to like character progression and stuff is absurd. Like I love that shit, and it's almost too much. Almost too much. So one thing is, unlike say Final Fantasy Tactics, where you'd get like just random soldiers and you would build them up to be a monk or a white mage or a dragoon. Here it's sort of the gacha method, in which basically you open loot boxes and you might get a character. And the characters are of different rarities, which I assume just means some characters are just strictly better than others. And then each character has like a predetermined job once you get them. So like this character Ramada. Actually, I think this is one of the default ones they give you, but Ramada is a Lancer. That's it. You can't like change her from to something that's not a Lancer. You eventually enhance or awaken them, and they get more job abilities. So she also gets Spellblade stuff, and eventually Thief stuff, which is weird. And so then if you go to the abilities, yeah. So this is like your ability tree, I guess. And so you get JP. You get these points as you do battles and stuff, just like Final Fantasy Tactics. And you sort of branch out into these different ways, whether you want to focus more on like Thief stuff or Lancer stuff or whatever. So it's similar to Tactics in that way, and I like this. This is like, all right, this is cool. Obviously, I'd prefer it the old way, where I could sort of pick like different jobs to assign to a character, and then they can build off of that. You know, I'd prefer choice in the matter rather than gacha, but it's a mobile game. So yeah, you awaken in order to unlock other jobs for each unit. Then you enhance each of those jobs using these other job enhancing materials. Then you can ability enhance. You unlock abilities, and then you can enhance those abilities using more JP and money. And then there's also just enhancing, which I guess is just spending these cubes to level up your characters. But you do get XP in battle, normally. But I guess like if you get a new character and they start at level 1 and you're level like 50 billion, you probably want to spend some cubes rather than leveling them up normally. And then there's Limit Break, which involves using Limit Break materials to also like enhance your character and increase their level cap and stuff like that, which is similar to Awaken, but you need to do both Awakening and Limit Breaking in order to fully like ascend your character. And then if you do Awakening and Limit Breaking 5 times, you get a true master reward, which is a really good piece of equipment for that character. So I guess, I mean, it's a lot of stuff, but none of that's like super complicated, I suppose. But it's like I've been playing for like 2 days. I haven't spent any money, and it's like I got a fucking boatload of characters. Like, this is absurd. I don't even know what to use. I don't know if you even need this many characters. I mean, how many like white mages do I need? How many thieves do I need? I don't know. Would I ever even want to play as a rare character? I don't know. I don't know. I mean, rare compared to like ultra rare? I mean, I got this fucking ultra rare dude. He looks a lot cooler than the rare character. And he gets like samurai and dragoon. I mean, it seems pretty good. So I don't know. And then, okay, so that's all the character shit. Then you have like the equipment. So you get pieces of equipment that you can equip to characters, and you can then craft stuff. I can't craft anything because I'm a noob. I just started. But the tutorial gave me this long sword. So then when you craft something, you can then enhance it, which increases its level. You can then awaken it to increase the level cap, and you got to do this multiple times. And then you can enhance it with like different smithing stuff and, you know, make it more special. And these all require like different materials that you get in the loot boxes. So speaking of like loot boxes, the summoning tab Um, they have like all these events and campaigns that you can spend your money on, that give like different characters and different rewards and things like that. Here, you do this if you want to get the little Leela character, Halloween parentheses. You gotta get in on that. Gotta get on that. And here, what if you want Ryu? And then, so a lot of these just cost like paid currency or a lot of non-paid currency. But then every day, you know, they give you free summons, and you got to check in every day to get all your free rewards, you know, things like that. Stuff like that. You can do this for free. So you get 10 normal summons for free once per day, or 3 times per day, if you log in 3 times per day. But then if you wanted to do it normally, it costs 1,000,000 gil, which is, you know, a hefty amount. And then if you got the video summons, which are basically like, it's just like gil and story skip tickets for watching ads. That's it. 3 times every, I don't know, handful of hours, you can watch a few ads for like other mobile gacha games and they'll give you gil. It's like, oh my god, it's insane. It's insane. And there's all like the daily login bonuses and you know, things like that, and daily challenges to do, and just trying to fucking keep your attention as much as possible. But then they have energy, of course. You know, like a mobile game, energy to do things. And in this case, playing a story mission costs energy. So to do the next story mission cost me 6 of my 49 energy. And if you want more energy, you better pay. So I feel like there's a lot of like cool stuff in here. Like I said, like we'll do a battle, we'll do a story mission. And so you can just sort of see, it's just like, it's like a Final Fantasy Tactics game. I mean, once you're in the battle, once you're doing the thing, it just feels like a tactics game. And it's awesome. Like, that's what you want. Yeah, the graphics are kind of shit because it's for phones. But like right here, this just looks like some PSP game. It's just when you sort of like take a step back and look at the whole thing that it's like, yep, this is very much a mobile game. So I'm a little conflicted about it, and that's why I'm still sort of playing it here and there. Is because it's like, this is a new Final Fantasy Tactics game. Like, that really excites me. I just don't like all the other bullshit involved. And I kind of wish they would have just like 2 versions of it. Like, I wish they would have the free version like this, where all the content is sort of there, but there's all the mobile nonsense, all the gacha nonsense and all that. And then I wish they would just have a version for like $40. And that strips out all the mobile shit and just is a fucking Final Fantasy Tactics game. The reason they don't just have a $40 release on phones is because a lot of people would not buy it. Like, a lot of people don't even buy like $4 games. It's this mindset of, if it's on a phone, it pretty much better fucking be free. Like, people will put up with a lot of bullshit, and they might even spend money on it down the line, but it has to just be free. And this is a proven business method. I mean, this works for these companies. That's why they keep doing it. That's why this isn't Final Fantasy Tactics War of the Visions on PS4. You know. That's why. So, yeah, I mean, I'm conflicted. I haven't spent any money on it. I don't really plan to. I mean, I spent money on Genshin Impact because it was like... I guess it was just more appealing to spend money on that than this. Like, here I already feel like they gave me way more characters than I would need. And if it gets to a point where it's like, I can't complete this battle because I'm not powerful enough and I need to spend money, then I'd probably just, like, stop playing. Like, that just seems fucked. Or I guess you'd have to, like, redo earlier battles to power up, but then you're limited by your energy, and it's just like, what the fuck, guys? So I don't know. I'm not, like, endorsing this game or anything. I'm just wanted to show it. Because I have, you know, I'm a big Final Fantasy fan. I've done playthroughs of all the Final Fantasy Tactics games. This is a Final Fantasy Tactics game in all but name. And I would really like to summon, like, an Esper. I don't know if I can in one of these story battles, but that's, like, the coolest part of the entire game, is summoning Ifrit, because it's fucking awesome. It's awesome. I doubt I'll get to. It's not like use your summon character in order to summon Espers or whatever. It's like this charge up ability. Anyways, moving on. No, that was pretty cool. All right. Somehow we dropped a tree on him. Yeah, all right. So this week on this channel, we had Final Fantasy 14, of course. That's going to go on until the end of time. We finished off XCOM 2, my little showcase, I suppose, of the modded world of XCOM 2. Skyrim is still going to go strong for yeah, for probably a couple weeks, I think. I mean, we'll see. I don't remember the exact count. And of course we had Two Brothers Play. We had the variety stream. We had Gloomhaven on Monday. All that's gonna continue. But I did decide what our next mainstream playthrough is going to be. There's actually multiple games coming out this week because it's the release of the Xbox Series X and the PS5. So we've got some game releases. Even though I don't have either of those consoles, they are relevant. We've got Assassin's Creed Valhalla on Tuesday, and I'm not going to do a playthrough of that, but that's probably what's going to be the variety stream on Wednesday, just to show that off a bit. On Friday, there's Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War, which will probably only maybe make an appearance in Hanging with Mangg, but other than that, that's about it. But Thursday, Godfall is coming out. This is coming to PC and PS5, and then I think in like 6 months it's coming to Xbox. And Godfall, I wasn't like super hyped or anything for it. I was like, okay, you know, we'll see how it looks. And now I've seen how it looks. And it basically looks like a combo between Dark Souls, of course, and like Warframe, I guess. It looked pretty good, and they were saying like they wanted it to be like a tinkerer's dream with like customizing your equipment and your abilities and things like that. And so, yeah, I watched like a little video about it. Looks really good. I think it would make for a good playthrough. So that's what we're going to do. That's my plan. Now, the PS5 comes out Thursday, launches Thursday. I do not have a pre-order, of course. But a couple stores are going to be selling some online throughout the day. And I've got 2 other people that are going to be trying throughout the day to get me one. So that's 3 people all working in conjunction just to try and get one person a PS5. Ideally, we can make it happen. If I do get one, I mean, I'm going to get one. Basically, whenever I do get one, we will do a playthrough of Demon Souls. It's just a matter of when. It's like every story mission, they're like, oh, hey, you know all this stuff that you're having to juggle? Here's another thing. So now we get to learn all about the Far Plane. Oh, which has more events that you need to log in to check out every day. God damn. It's amazing. Like, how did it get to this point? How did it fucking get to this point? Look at this nonsense. Look at this ass blasting. They're just blasting all over you. Of just goodies. Just, oh, gotta get all the good. You want a plus 100% JP? Yeah, you gotta get that. Gotta get that, man. Like, what is this? Oh, this is like a little mission. You can do 3 times per day to earn XP cubes. But it costs fucking 8 energy to do it. That's insane. Come on now. And then you can do the Guild Chamber 3 times per day. 8 energy each. I mean, just between, if you want to do both of these things each day, that's 48 energy. Insane. And the Ore Chamber, probably another 24. And the Growth Egg Chamber, another 24. I mean, I don't think they expect you to do all of these every day. It's just more like, oh, I need XP cubes now. I guess. The JP reward. Earn oodles of JP once a day. For 8 energy. Whew. I mean, it's like, it's so much. It's so much. And you just want a Final Fantasy Tactics game. You know, that's all you really want. Anyways, to summarize, we'll be starting Godfall this week. I'll probably just be doing a few extra Skyrim videos. So it'll just be, most of this week will just be Final Fantasy 14 and Skyrim. And then we'll do Demon Souls whenever I get a PS5. That's it. That's what it comes down to. Over on the Exploring series, we had the release of a video about more Sarkic SCPs. Like, why can't I click on this right here to remember what it does? Come on now. You make me back out and click on this. Okay, it raises its own attack for 3 turns. And I didn't want to actually enhance it. I just wanted to know what enhancing it would do. But okay, I guess it increases the attack buff, which makes sense. I probably shouldn't have done that. That seems like a waste of JP, but hey, I can always just go and do the Oodles of JP event to get more JP. Yeah, more Sarkic. That proved to be a very popular video. Of my last 10 videos, that was like number 1. So that's nice. People like them Sarkics. So do I. And I didn't release any extra video for the first time in quite a while. But I am working on a D&D video for this week about various magical items. Some common stuff like the Bag of Holding, the Immovable Rod, some like big rare artifacts like the Eye of Vecna, stuff like that. And then some just sort of oddball weird stuff that isn't that common, but it's existed in D&D and it's just sort of, here, look at this.
どうしてもわらわの命が欲しいと見える。ここまで熱烈に求められたのは初めてだぞ。
求められたって。エルデ殿、このままでは。
敵も本気を出してきたということか。ならば、我らも答えねばならんな。
We're at the point in Japanese where I can recognize about 1.5% of these words.
指輪?
Like they said star at some point before, and I was like, oh, Hoshi. I know that. Star. Anyways, the video I'm releasing tomorrow is on The Factory, which is a very mysterious group of interest in the SCP universe. No one really knows what they want, what they're all about. It's just a big mystery, but they've got some weird SCPs that they've created and stuff, and so they get a video. And I even included an SCP that doesn't really have anything to do with the factory, but it's just a weird factory. And so I'm like, fuck it. It's like a 9-minute SCP. So it wouldn't make its own video, but I want to talk about it because it's cool. And I'm like, I mean, just because it doesn't say made by the factory, you don't know. It could be related to the factory. So that's why I like when we're in the battle right here, because it's just like I'm just playing a Final Fantasy Tactics game. I mean, yeah, it's a little janky. The graphics aren't great, and having mouse controls only is not ideal, but still, it's just like this little break from the insanity of the main menu screen. Yeah. I think that was all I really needed to talk about. Oh, last week on Hanging with Mangg, we were talking about collaborations with other SCP YouTubers. And like SCP Illustrated and I doing a collab. I don't know if he was watching Hanging with Mangg or what, but that night he messaged me and said he's working on his big SCP-5000 video. He's getting a lot of people involved with it to do different voices, and he wanted myself to be involved. He wanted the Mangg. And so, like I said, whether it was SCP Illustrated or some little, 1,000 sub channel wanting my voice, it's the same thing. I say sure. So I said sure. He asked me if I wanted like a big or a little part. And I said, it depends entirely on how much you like my voice. So initially he gave me the section of SCP-5000 where Pietro hears like a radio broadcast from like a radio that it's not even like functioning, and it's just really weird, and it just says like 5, 7, you are hatching, it's just like a bunch of weird nonsense. So he gave me that. I did that. And then after I sent that to him, he was like, oh, you know what? It would be really awesome if you did the intro where it says like the SCP Foundation has been, their mission has been the containment of anomalies, but now that's changed. Their new directive is to exterminate the human race or something like that. And he's like, this would be perfect if you did this. And I'm like, sure. So I did that as well. So I don't know when he's planning to release it, but should be good. Should be good. If I pick up a few new fans, great. People are like, oh, who's this guy? This guy's got such a silky smooth voice. I gotta check him out. But if not, I'm happy to just help out and lend what I can to a cool video. I will also be doing an interview for the SCP Wiki. There's a guy on the SCP Wiki. I say guy as a general term. There's a person who has been doing a series of interviews with all sorts of authors and personalities on the SCP Wiki named White Guard. And so they messaged me and said that I was their favorite SCP YouTuber, and they wanted to do an interview with
その理由
me.
これか
I will be the first YouTuber to be interviewed for the SCP Wiki, which is a pretty good honor, I think. I think that's pretty cool. So that's going to happen sometime in September, or December, I'm sorry. I don't know what they're going to ask. I don't know what it's going to be about, but I've done a couple interviews before. It's a weird concept for someone to be that interested in what I have to say, but
そうか
it's something to do.
マシュリー様。
いや良い
Yoi.
どうかなされたか。
いや何でもない
父上、敵にさらなる援軍が。
懲りぬ奴らよ。ひとまず退き、そこで迎え撃つぞ。
See, it's like those words that you don't learn yet. You don't learn when you're starting a language. You don't learn advantage and strike and retreat, you know. You learn like bread and apple and snow. Loads of cool things happening in the SCP world of recent. Yeah, I think things are pretty good. I certainly can't complain. That's you know, the SCP Illustrated thing is certainly the biggest collaboration I'll be a part of. But I think it's good that the SCP YouTubers sort of stick together. You know, we're a little community amongst ourselves, so it's good that we collaborate once in a while. Now we have fucking vision cards that give you more abilities that you can enhance by using growth eggs. What the fuck's going on? Dang. There you go, my Cactuar leveled up. He gained 4 HP. Oh, but now we gotta awaken him at some point. Gotta increase its level cap and strengthen its party abilities. Feel free to appreciate them when you have a spare moment. Equip vision cards to greatly boost your fighting power. Yeah, like I don't have enough things to greatly boost my fighting power. Anyways. We have a lot of these. Wow, we have a lot of these. I assume this is Titan. Oh, this is Ogre. Yes, yes. And that's a castle. This is a flag. Okay. Interesting. What is... Oh, Mind Flayer. Have I heard of SCP Overlord? If so, are you looking forward to it? So that's the next short film by Evan Royalty, I think. That's what you're referring to? Yeah, I mean, I guess I'm looking forward to it. I'll give it a watch. He's really good at what he does, like obscenely good. So it's definitely worth a look. It's a little bit of a bummer that he doesn't use any like existing SCPs. I think that's what a lot of people like to see. But regardless, yeah, it's going to be worth it a look. It's going to be pretty cool. Oh, we can complete requests from clients. So we can do sub-quests that cost you 30 billion energy. Okay. Sure. I guess maybe these are just ongoing. Okay, that's not bad. But then this is a hard quest. It's a shard hard quest. This will give you shards for Mangg that you can use to upgrade him even more. 18 energy cost? Oh my god. Oh, but you can get a quest challenge pass. You can buy a quest challenge pass. We need a gotcha intervention. No, I haven't spent any money. I'm not planning on spending money on this game. And I didn't spend that much on Genshin. I spent like 30 bucks. I'm not a whale. Like I said, I only checked it out because it's Final Fantasy Tactics in all but name. And there are parts of this that are cool. And if I could spend 40, 50 bucks just to make it a normal game, that would be great. But that's not how it works, unfortunately. Yeah. Guess that's about it. FF Dissidia Opera Omnia. How the fuck do they come up with this stuff? I mean, at the very least, you know, they're still putting out like Final Fantasy 16. You know, it's not like they've completely abandoned their core fan base. But I would certainly just prefer Final Fantasy Tactics 2 or whatever. Final Fantasy Tactics Fight for the Vengeance, or I don't know, as just a PS4 game or PS5 game. Or a Switch game. I mean, how do we not have a new Final Fantasy Tactics game on the Switch? I mean, it's just insane. And I feel like, why can't you just take this game, this basic framework, modify some stuff, strip out a bunch of shit, and put it on the Switch? What? Like, I feel like aside from this, Square Enix has just abandoned completely the turn-based concept. I don't think Tactics is on the Switch. Oh, wait, maybe it is. Hold on. No, maybe it's not. I don't think it is. Which is weird. I feel like they could just bundle in like Final Fantasy Tactics Advance and Advance 2 and just release it on the Switch. I don't know why. Why do they hate me? Why do they hate me? Bravely Default is good. Oh yeah, Bravely Default, and there was a sequel to that, or they're working on a sequel to that. Is Bravely Default on the Switch? The sequel's on the Switch. Or is going to be on the Switch. In February. Okay. Alright. I did play Bravely Default. I didn't beat it because it was on 3DS and I hate mobile gaming. I mean, I'm okay with this because I can connect it to my PC and just play with a mouse. But I don't want to sit there and look at a 3DS screen. But the time that I did spend with Bravely Default, I thought it was really cool. So I'll definitely pick up the sequel on the Switch. And I guess we had Octopath Traveler. But that was a bit of a disappointment to me. It was okay, but yeah, I don't think. Come on, man. Final Fantasy Tactics would be awesome on the Switch. Huh. Anyways, FF6 remake done in the Octopath engine. It is startling how much they ignore Final Fantasy VI. I mean, like, there's like the mobile like remake or demake, really, because it's just fucking worse. And then there's like the stuff in Final Fantasy 14. But other than that, they don't seem to give a shit. I mean, even like a Final Fantasy VI remake done in like the Final Fantasy VII remake engine would just be something interesting. It would be something. It would show that they're like, hey, Final Fantasy VI is a cool game. The reason that they wouldn't do Final Fantasy VI remake in that engine, though, is there's too many characters. Like, if you think about, like, the entire roster of characters, they all they all have different abilities completely. Like, how do you make Gao work in a game like that compared to, like, Cyan, compared to, like, Setzer, compared to, like, Go-Go? You know, it's like, whereas 7 is like, okay, we've got this small cast of characters, we can make this work pretty easily. So, I don't know. I'm not, you know, I'm definitely a big Final Fantasy fan, but recently, I don't know, they've been dropping the ball in a lot of ways. I mean, Final Fantasy 14 is definitely a bright spot. But I mean, they took the time to make like a fucking Crystal Chronicles remake. Rather than a new tactics game. Who the fuck was asking for Crystal Chronicles? It's insane. But then on phones, they just put out stuff like this. The 14 people being involved in 16 gives you hope. Yeah. I mean, there are aspects of 16 that I am optimistic about. I like that it's sort of like old school fantasy style, which Final Fantasy has not been in a long time. So that'll be a nice change of pace. And the combat looks like it could be maybe good. It sort of just looked like The Witcher Final Fantasy Edition, but if the combat's better than The Witcher, then I think that it could work. I don't like that the main character is named Clive, but to be honest, I'll probably end up playing it in Japanese anyway. So it'll just be Clive, which I guess is maybe better. Anyways, so we got more Skyrim this week. We got more Final Fantasy 14. We got Godfall on Thursday. Is that what the game's called? Let me just double check. Yeah, Godfall on Thursday, which hopefully is good. There's no reviews out at the moment. But hopefully it's decent, and if not, even if it's mediocre, it's something to play. I'll be definitely trying to get a PS5, and as soon as I have my hands on one, we'll be doing a Demon Souls playthrough. Variety stream on Wednesday, which will probably be Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Gloomhaven tomorrow. Two Brothers Play next Saturday. Yada, yada, yada. We've got The Factory for an SCP video tomorrow, and a D&D video on magic items later this week. I put out a lot of videos. That's my fucking life, man. Well. Fingers crossed for Godfall. Armor design is great, if nothing else. Yeah. That's why I said it's sort of like, it looked like Demon Soul or Dark Souls mixed with like Warframe or something. So I'm hoping it's good. Alrighty. My name is Mangg. This has been Hanging with Mangg. See you fine folks next week.